Hi, my name is Greg Nussbaum, and I'm the founder of MrNussbaum.com and MrN365. This video is designed to show you how to make your own Jeopardy games on MrN365. You see that I'm already logged in, and so my first step is to click My Activities. So these are activities that I've already created, and before I show you how to create a Jeopardy game, I'm going to show you what one looks like when it's completed. So I've done this United States Geography Jeopardy, and I'm going to click it. And here's what a completed game looks like. You can have one, two, or three teams. I'm going to click 2 here, just for demonstration purposes. And here's the interesting one. It says take turns in order. If I leave this checked, that means that team 1 will go first, then team 2 will go, then team 1 again, then team 2 will go, and so forth. But if I uncheck this, it works more like the real Jeopardy game, where one team has to be faster on something than another. And I think this is a way more fun for the kids. So I'm going to click play. And here's team 1 with 0 points and team 2 with 0 points. So let's first start with Southern states for 100. And so team 1, it says, stop the clock closest to 500 to see who gets to answer. So there's like a stopwatch, and it's on milliseconds. And so the team that can stop the stopwatch closest to 500 milliseconds gets control of the board. So I click start clock. Here it goes. Stop. And I was 5 away from 500. That's pretty good. So here goes team 2. And I was too far. So team 1 controls the board. And this would be 2 separate students that you select from each team. So my first question is, Raleigh is the capital of, and this is for team 1, is of North Carolina. And so that's correct. Team 1 has 100 points, and they have control. Let's go with Southern states for 200. And the same thing happens again. This time you can pick 2 different students, and this makes it really, really fun and exciting for the students. So let's see, team 1, here we go. And I was 11 away. Let's see, I'm playing for team 2 again. 32 away. So again, team 1 controls. And what southern state does not border the Gulf of Mexico? I know that that is Arkansas. And I think that's enough to show you what the end result should look like. It's pretty straightforward. You need 25 questions, so it takes a little while to make a Jeopardy game. Let's see how we make one now. So I go back, and I'm going to go to add a new activity. And you see I have 4 different options for things I can do. Let's stick with Jeopardy. Click select, and now I'm going to name it. Let's just call this History Jeopardy. The better you describe it, the better, but for now, I'm going to say U.S. history. Let's call it grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. And let's say this is history, and the format is a game, and the type is social studies fun. Click continue. And so the good news is this would take a long time, is you can start this and finish it later. But let's make up categories first for, I think we said this was U.S. history. Let's call this maybe the Revolutionary, well, let's call it the 13 colonies. And then next would become the Revolutionary War. And then let's call this War of 1812. And let's call this Westward Expansion and the Civil War. And then I just add the questions. So let's say for what would 13 colonies for 100 be like? So I add a question here. What was the first permanent settlement in the New World? And let's go back and make sure we put a question mark and say English. And I know that that is Jamestown. So I'm going to try to think of options that students might think Plymouth. Let's call it Roanoke, and one other. I don't know. Let's call it Philadelphia. And then I click done, and I've completed my 100 question. And so you do this for all the questions until you're done with the Jeopardy game. I'm gonna click finish later because I don't wanna, because in this way I can save my progress and come back to it later. If I were to click save finished quiz, that's it. I can't go back and edit it, and it is ready to go. So I want to make sure, I want to click finish later, and watch what happens. It says activity successfully saved. So I click OK. And now I can keep going, or I can go back to my activities. And I'm going to keep going back. Actually, I'll just click up here. And I go down all the way, and it says unfinished. This is the one that I was doing, unfinished history Jeopardy. And to complete it, I just click on it again, and it will take me to the same place as you see here. You see? Okay. So one last thing here. When I am done with this, I will see 4 icons such as these. I can click on the share activity, and that will make my Jeopardy game available to all the other teachers on the site. To see activities created by other teachers and to use those activities, I go to see teacher created content, and those that teachers have chosen to share will be available for you to use. You can add them right to your student dashboard, or you can add them right to your favorites. Okay, so I hope that is helpful, and I hope that answers any questions you have about how to create a Jeopardy game.